Hey, what's up there? I'm Cody the Coin Raptor, and I've got a fantastic video for you guys today. We're going to be talking about the recent Bitcoin price action. We'll be talking about Michael Saylor and what he's been up to, as well as some whales, what's going on at Grayscale right now, and some very important Bitcoin options expiry happening in a couple of days. But before we get to that, be sure to subscribe, be sure to hit that like button, and be sure to follow me on X. So, Bitcoin in the past 24 hours, we're up about 2.4%. Ethereum, very nice run up here to about 6.62% in the last 24 hours. And we are still currently at greed for the overall crypto markets. So, the first thing I want to talk about is the Bitcoin price action. So, right here, we've had Bitcoin in a surprisingly nice uptrend from the beginning of December. We've seen in the past 2 or 3 weeks that Bitcoin has come down and it's touched support repeatedly here at about 41K and then bounced off and moved even higher. So what we've seen so far is that there has actually been kind of a continuation of the uptrend in December. We have a very nice support line right here that will eventually intersect with that critical resistance point here at 44,200. So eventually, either you're going to have to see the support line give way and the short-term uptrend will be over, or Bitcoin will have to push its way through 44K. Now, I don't really expect that this is going to happen before the end of the year. Volume so far has actually been fairly low for the past couple of weeks because of the holiday, and you would have to have some really major whale buys at this point in order to push the price much higher, or a catalyst, like for instance the approval of a Bitcoin spot ETF, which is rumored to be before January 10th of next year. We shall see if that's going to be the case or not. But one person who has been buying the dip and buying the dip heavily has been Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy. They've acquired another 14,620 Bitcoin, okay, at a price of about 42,000 Bitcoin. So they've been buying here at about around this region, kind of like right in the middle of the range. We can see we've actually had some fairly big volume candles at the beginning of the month here, and then things have died down as Christmas and New Year's as Christmas, the Christmas holiday has gone on, and then in the future we'll have New Year's, and that'll probably be also a very low volume as well. But what we've seen so far is the fact that MicroStrategy continues its plan of DCA. Now, some people are saying that they're buying ahead of a potential Bitcoin spot ETF approval, but this is more or less just a regular buy for MicroStrategy. They do tend to buy every couple of months pretty regularly, and I don't think that they basically know something more than anybody else does about the approval of a Bitcoin spot ETF. But it's not just MicroStrategy buying. And if we actually take a look at our whales, and we can go over here to CryptoQuant, we can take a look at the exchange whale ratio, which kind of monitors the number of whales buying on exchanges or sending coins to the exchanges. We see here that the 25th of December, a couple of days ago, was actually the highest level that we've seen since about May or so of 2023. So what this means is that whale activity has gone up dramatically in the past couple of days. We've seen whales moving coins onto and from exchanges on that day. Again, this seems to be a lot of potential hype for a Bitcoin spot ETF approval. Now, again, you guys can kind of draw that, make your own conclusions about what this means. Maybe these people do know something, and there's going to be some sort of spot ETF approval soon. But so far, we have just speculation to go off of, and we've seen some significant whale moves in the past couple of days. Now, I also want to go ahead and cover what's going on at Grayscale. So, Grayscale chair Barry Silbert has resigned. Now, he's also the founder of the digital currency group, which kind of includes Grayscale as a part of it. You guys may know Grayscale from offering things like the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust and the Ethereum Trust as well. Now, Grayscale has been trying for some time to convert this trust over into a Bitcoin spot ETF. They have not really been successful about that. And it's coincidental, basically, that they've tried to amend their Bitcoin spot ETF. Actually, after he departed, they're basically amending it to see if they can actually get this Bitcoin spot ETF approved by the SEC, so that may have something to do with it. But the simple fact is that Silbert had been under fire over the past year or two. After we had the 2022 meltdown for crypto, he's been beefing with the Winklevoss twins over Genesis and Gemini, and they've also been sued by some government regulatory agencies. So this seems kind of like a shakeup. To me, it seems like they're changing their strategy a little bit, and as a result, he's resigned. Now, he's still going to be with the company itself, so it's not like he's stepping away completely, but he's going to be just more in the background. Now, his succession is by Mark Schiffke, the chief financial officer of DCG, so we'll see how this changes things, and if this move, the shakeup, and their subsequent refiling of the Bitcoin ETF application will actually lead to approval by the SEC. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the current Bitcoin liquidation heat map. Now, we've talked about a large amount of Bitcoin above 44K, and that amount, this liquidation level, continues to be just absolutely enormous. We're talking about $406 million worth of Bitcoin longs, or worth of Bitcoin shorts, sitting up here. And if Bitcoin ever does go back to 44K, just touching 44K, we could see a match set off, a powder keg of liquidations, and we could push the price even higher. So just pay attention to these levels. What you're looking at right now is anything above 44K, especially above 122. And even above that level, even further, we have here at about 44,600 as well. There are some significant liquidations. I mean, we're looking at probably about $373 million worth of short liquidations in this region. I mean, here's the thing. We're starting to see these shorts be incredibly aggressive, and we're starting to see them really heavily build this position and bet that Bitcoin is not going to go any higher anytime soon, and that 44K resistance point is going to hold. Now, I think that's foolish. Personally, I would never short Bitcoin at that level, and I do think that these shorts are going to get absolutely annihilated in the future. Any sort of positive catalyst or good news, especially regulatory, is going to blow these shorts up, and Bitcoin is going to go back up to, most likely, break out above 44K into 45K and even higher. Now, if we take a look at the options, it's very interesting options going on here with Bitcoin. And what we've seen so far is that on the 29th of December, you have a large number of options expiry, $4.6 billion worth of calls are expiring, and about $3 billion worth of puts are expiring. Now, this is the largest amount of options in expiry in a single day that I think I've seen in a long time. Now, again, this is the end of the year. Not a big surprise that they're making these gambles here and trying to figure out where the Bitcoin price is going to be by the end of the year. But you can just see that the single largest number of call options are going to be right at that 40,000 level. So that 40,000 level, there are a lot of buyers that are trying to keep Bitcoin above 40K to make sure that they don't wind up getting liquidated above those, below that region, and so they actually make some money. So look for 40K to be an incredibly strong support. If Bitcoin ever does go down, that would be the region that I would expect that the buyers are going to step in and basically go out and buy the dip. But max pain price currently set to 33K. There's no way there's no way that we're going to wind up seeing Bitcoin go down to 33K. That's extremely unlikely. And so far, what we've seen is this options expiry is going to be make for an extremely volatile next couple of days. So we could wind up seeing the Bitcoin price fly around all over the place, and maybe even eventually, I think within a couple of weeks, we're looking at a push above 44K. I think that's very possible. Now, the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to our TA is what's going on with the dollar index. So I've talked about the dollar index quite a bit on this channel, but the simple fact here is that the dollar index is a measure of the strength of the dollar compared to other currencies, and the dollar index has been on a complete and total free fall. Now, I said before about a week ago that I expected it was going to go down to 100, and it's basically hit that point of 100. It's on life support at this point, and the reason why this is good for Bitcoin is because Bitcoin is a commodity. in a commodity that tends to get stronger as the dollar gets weaker. Now, what we've seen so far here is that if it falls below this support level here at about 100, then the next level you're looking at here is about 99.7. That would be the next support level that I would expect for the dollar to hit. And honestly, this really seems like this is really good news for Bitcoin as Bitcoin continues to gather strength as the dollar continues to move much lower. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is what's going on in the NVT Golden Cross. Now, you guys may remember that this is a nice tool to help you try to figure out where the local tops and local bottoms are for the Bitcoin price. And what we've seen is that it's been really strange. The NVT Golden Cross, we've come up to this red zone. That usually means that that's kind of approaching a local top. We've seen it pop into this red zone and then out of the red zone, and so that would kind of normally indicate a local top for the Bitcoin price. Now, if you compare this to the actual Bitcoin price, that was sort of the case. However, we've seen it reverse the NVT Golden Cross. We've seen it reverse and head higher from the point that it peaked out on. Now, this isn't normal for the NVT Golden Cross to do this. In fact, the only other time that it's done that, in which it's gone up and then it's come down and then it's gone up even higher, was back in 2021, 2021 in this area right here during the last true bull market. And in fact, that led to the highest level of the NVT Golden Cross here at about a 5.6. And so that gives me an idea that we could potentially see something similar. Now, what that means is that the Bitcoin price could basically go higher and we could see a much higher local top. Okay, so you can imagine that it could be somewhere in, between 45 and 47K or so. But it does look like it's actually coming back down again. This is something to watch out for. But this kind of lends more credence that this is buying action, buying momentum that is similar to what we've seen in a bull market. That's my primary takeaway from what I'm looking at for the NVT Golden Cross. Very similar to that level of demand that we saw back in 2021 during the start of that bull market. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is Grayscale in trouble? Are they going to be getting a Bitcoin spot ETF approval anytime soon? What do you guys think about Michael Saylor buying more Bitcoin? Is that surprising, or is that something that you've also been doing as well? Leave a comment below, and I will catch you guys in the next video.